Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on Mother's Day. Let me set the slide up properly. So, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to those who are celebrating. I really appreciate it. And hello, everybody. We got Mama Scrunch in the background, so we'll put her on in a second. Hey, Slinky. Hi there. Trash Boat, Penelope, Sarah M. Thompson, Trish Montgomery, Smiley, S87. Hi there. Ray, Jenna T, Yummy, Emmy, Terry K, Nesquik Milk, Pretty When You're Drunk, Dorial, Lynn Smith, Emmy0508, The Star That Fell, The Placenta, Ivana, Pause and Pose, Erica Lynn, Mo, Perry Plug, Hippie Easta, Katrina, Lynn Smith and Fish, Cherry Steel Girl, Elsa Snow, Sassy's Mom, Princess Wreckage, Not a Gamer, Misunderstood, Victoria Rose, welcome, Kelly L, Bunny, Angelina Moore, and everybody else. Let me add Mama Scrunch. Let's see here. Real Mama Scrunch. Oh, Mama Scrunch seems to still be connecting. I don't know what's going on. But once she establishes a connection, then we'll have her speak. Hey there, Cappuccino, Old Darlin. We got Janine, Billy Z and Mimi, Carbella, Tammy Riley. Hi there. Foxy Lady, welcome. Friend Prices, what's up? Elsa Snow, Magulator, Gemini, Pieces of Burning Collection, Jenna T. It's the 11th. We're gonna figure that out. S87, Lynn Smith, Lady Lithium, Rainstorm. Hello there. In the meantime, that Mama Scrunch is trying to connect. What I will do is I decided to maybe try and do a throwback. So let me get this throwback ready. So if this connection fails or something else happens, we are gonna. Okay, Mama Scrunch is gone. So let's do the throwback. And if she connects again and everything is good, then we are going to continue with the AMA. So this is from a couple years back, about 4 years ago. Dragon Lord Frodo is still in Lovejoy, and he is talking. He's coming clean. So let's see what he has to say. Let me do it this way. Okay, Mama Scrunch is still connected. Let me get started.
Hey people, it's Dragon Lord Frodo. It looks like I'm making a lot of these videos today. But this is gonna be the last one for the night.
Hey Sherry, hey Kicks the Fire, hey NGM.
This one's gonna be really hard to make because it's a video where I'm essentially going to come clean on a couple things here. First of all, I want to say that this isn't going to be your typical video ranting and raving.
Welcome,
I really want to
Tagapaw.
be honest on this video. I really want people to see this in my perspective.
Tagapaw and Bambino says, "Hi Monty, hi chat." Victoria Rose says, "I'd be shocked if it's really her." Well, still a possibility. It's not. Was she serious about coming on, Monty? That's what I thought. So she's still connecting. As you can see here, the circle is still going. And she is not connecting. So I don't know what's the problem, but I do have this back up here.
Instead of just me going, Lovejoy's racist is bullshit, whatever, you know.
I think these types of videos were recommended by his therapist, which was Dr. Nintendo, is what I heard he was called. Can you confirm that, friend Prices?
So I'm going to try to be as honest as I could. I'm going to try to be as truthful as I could. Okay. Now, first off, I just want to say that I'm just going to try to be honest about this. So here it goes. First thing, when I say Lovejoy is racist, okay, what I actually mean is
How long ago is this video? About at least 4 years old, 46 years, I would say. He's in Lovejoy right now, and he's going to talk about Lovejoy being racist. He has a fuller head of hair, different glasses, different temperament, and he seems a lot younger.
yes, there is racism in Lovejoy, okay? And yes, Lovejoy is, how should I say this? Historically a racist neighborhood. Okay, like it's one of those neighborhoods that if you say, like, if you're from like Western New York, like from the Buffalo, New York area, and you say, "Oh yeah, I'm from Lovejoy," people automatically assume, people automatically think Lovejoy racism. Okay.
We did look in the past on this about the racism in Lovejoy, and it seems the local Buffalo area newspapers do report that there is a substantial amount of racism in Lovejoy, like a lot more than the rest of Buffalo has. So I'm not I didn't grow up in Buffalo, nor do I know that much about Buffalo. So if anybody is from Western New York, what's your input in terms of the racism that is happening in Lovejoy? Hey, Michelle.
Um,
Mama Scrunch is still trying to
for
connect.
example, it is true. It is true that when I was in high school, or when I was in school, I should say. Yeah, I guess you'd call it high school. It is true that I used to take the short bus to and from school. Okay, it was that kind of school. Okay,
Welcome, Mommy
say what you
Yummy.
want about it. It was that kind of school. And I did tell one of the bus drivers, bus aides, I should say, that I was moving. When I moved, we were living on Zelmer Street, which, if anyone knows where that is, it's pretty much off Genesee Street. It's not in a really nice area. Um,
For sure, Connie. Hey, no filter,
but
Mama.
we were moving from Zelmer to Lovejoy. And oh my god, during like right before we moved, I told the bus one of my bus aides that I was moving. Okay,
Hey, Blunted.
and I said, and she's like, "Where are you moving to?" I
Hey, Marie.
said, "We're going to Lovejoy." And yes, this is true. When I said we're moving to Lovejoy, she said, um, "Why are you moving there to get away from the black people?" And yeah, I mean, it was wrong for her to say that, and I did report her.
Hey, Mary from the Six.
And I mean, back then too, I kind of had this whole idea that, Lovejoy's racist, the whole thing,
Hey, Gregory Bo.
Um,
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
and I did have that whole idea already in my head that, yeah, and back then, I had Eugene. Me and Eugene are like the same age, so it was like I moved out of Zelmer at 14, and then
If you're not aware of Lovejoy, Lovejoy is an area of Buffalo that has a name for itself. It's kind of like how Bed-Stuy has a name for itself if if you're from NYC. Kind of like how certain areas of like Southern Florida have a name for themselves. Kind of like how if you're from Toronto, like Jane and Finch or Falstaff or Chalk Farm or Treachway or Eglinton Strip or what else is there? Tons of areas in Toronto just have a name for themselves. It's kind of like that. Hey,
Eugene was like the same age as me.
hey Kelly. Hey Andrea. Hey White
So I
Witch.
mean, he's a little older, but not by much. So it was like he would come over a lot. We would hang out, and I felt like me going to Lovejoy would prevent all that because
Hey Just Deb.
of the racism. Like, oh yeah,
Hey White Witch. Hey Lisa B. What's up?
yeah, Eugene's not going to be able to come over anymore. He's his dad wouldn't allow it or whatever. Whatever the case may be.
Hey
But he did
Nancy.
come over a couple times in Lovejoy, but it was
I think we've heard this story before. He has a way of repeating himself. Hey Just Deb. Hey everybody. Happy Mother's Day. But let's hear it again. The star that fell. Bed-Stuy no longer really has a name since it's been gentrified. I was just about to say that. That Bed-Stuy has actually um been gentrified a lot considering what the name was 10, 20, 30 years ago. but it still does. Its name does have weight. Like if I say, "Hey, I'm from Bed-Stuy," or like Patagapambino says, if I say I'm from Malvern or Rexdale, parts of Toronto, it does carry some weight to be like, yeah, people's ears go up. That's a bad area. Even though Malvern isn't as bad as it was before, neither is Rexdale. There's a lot of areas. Even the what's the area near Garbage Town that used to have the townhomes? It was super bad back in the day, but now it's like gentrified.
It wasn't as much. And I felt like that was a big part of why I didn't like it. Um, so, I mean, yeah, it is historically a racist area. Like, there's a lot of racism going on.
Hey, Catherine.
Um, but for the most part, I mean, especially like today, um, I mean, it's like any other part when it comes to it's like any other neighborhood when it comes to racism.
Yes, out of the edit. Thank you. I just looked it up. It was Regent Park. Sometimes I forget certain names like Regent Park, Chattahoochee. Like those are areas that really ring or like their name speaks for itself. Like I can even list off a lot of the Jane Strip areas. Like if I say like Jane and Finch, Jane and Wilson, Jane and I don't know. I could also say Jane and Lawrence, Jane and Weston Road. I could say that as well. But there are some real like streets or roads that really have a name for itself. But yeah, Falstaff, as I've said before, Chalk Farm has a name for itself.
I mean, it happens,
Hey, holy moly.
but it's
Hey, Vanessa.
for the most part, people are accepted,
Hey,
I
that uncheck.
guess. Um, I mean, there. I don't agree with. I really don't agree that it's considered like a real safe area. Um, it just that I do agree that there's a lot of poor
Hey, Mystic
people
Skies. Natural Ginger.
of like any race living
Welcome, Natural Ginger.
there. There's a lot of just a lot of low class people. Like, for example, like if you're poor, okay, it's one thing to be poor, but even if you're poor, you could still like live decently. I mean, you might not have a lot of money, but you know,
Mama Scrunch is still trying to connect.
you there's no like for example, I don't ever understand this. Like, I notice a lot of like poor people don't like to be clean. I don't get it.
What? What?
It's like if you're gonna be poor, it's one thing to not
No.
have a lot of money or whatever, but there's no excuse for you to not be clean. I mean, your house.
I'm sorry. That is wholly not true. That is just wrong.
I mean, your body. I mean, there's no reason that you have to smell like shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot of that. It's just a lot of. There's a different. There's a like. I think there's a big difference between poor and just being low class. Okay.
He's equating being poor to being dirty or unclean. That's actually not true because you've seen people that make $20,000 a month, $12,000 a month, $30,000, $50,000 a month, and they are not clean. You know who I am talking about because you all are part of my community. So, what does being poor have to do with being unclean? I mean, there are poor people who are unclean, but you can't just say everybody who's poor is unclean because we have verifiable proof that there's somebody that I react to constantly that makes copious amounts of money per month, but yet they don't shower or they are characterized as being unclean.
Like just because you're poor, doesn't mean that you have to, you know, be a slob, is what I'm saying, you know. Now, there is a lot of that. Um,
Right? Ass and fresh linen.
Now, as I said,
If nobody really knows what that means, that's what DLF purportedly smells like. Ass and fresh linen. Mama Scrunch is still connecting.
Lovejoy. This is me just being 100% honest. No fake shit. No exaggeration. I truly believe that Lovejoy today, okay, it's like any other neighborhood. It has racism, but black people live here. There's some Muslim people,
No.
Spanish. There's not a lot of Asian people here, but
Facts.
it's a good mix of people. But
That's facts that I'm checked. He is on a fixed income. You're right.
it's just a mix of like low class people, okay, and so as far as Lovejoy goes, okay, I still want to get out of Lovejoy. Okay, I don't think that's ever gonna change. Me talking about there's an evil presence here. I don't mean that. I don't really believe in that kind of shit. But I'll be honest, I do exaggerate a lot of shit. Okay. Um, Me going off the deep end at every little thing that happens. For example, late mail.
Victoria Rose, really excited for the new content. Do you mean like the Cyrax content? Is that what you mean? Because I think I'm gonna do a Cyrax intro documentary. I think I'm gonna do it in several parts, but I think also what I'm gonna do is make a music video. I don't know, maybe a diss track to like a Beyonce beat. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do it to Beyonce Drunk in Love. You know how I did that whole Pete's thing where it's like pulling on my body, pulling on my body. I'm gonna do that with Cyrax because Cyrax likes to also pull on his body, if you know what I mean. So wait, watch out for that. It's coming soon enough.
Um, I mean, like I tried to explain, it's not about the male being late. It's about the male being late in Lovejoy, and it's just something else to pick on. To me, it just sounds like to me it's just be hating on Lovejoy even more and more and more and more. And every little thing that happens here, I try to emphasize. Now, yesterday, I forgot to even talk about this on a video, but yesterday, and I swear to God, this happened.
Banksland Smith.
Yesterday, my mail came at like 11:02. I went outside to go for my counseling appointment. My counseling appointment was at 11:30, so I left the house at like 11 o'clock or something.
What?
And I already got my mail. I was like, holy shit.
Dude, if the mail being a couple minutes late or an hour or 2 hours late is like the biggest of your problems, well, I'm sorry to break it to you.
I'm like, that never came that fucking early.
Happy Mother's
And
Day, everybody.
I hope they continue that. I hope they continue doing that. But today it came a little later. So, but the point is that the late mail is just something that I pick on because it's Lovejoy, and it's just because I hate Lovejoy so much that
Right? Wish I had DLF problems if the male is the biggest of your problems. Your male being light.
It's just what
Seriously.
I do. I don't like Lovejoy, so I'm just gonna keep picking on it. Every little thing. Snow, gonna pick on that because again, it's Lovejoy, and like, yeah, I get it. That a lot of the side streets in other areas aren't plowed, but it's because it's Lovejoy. I see one fucking snowflake on the fucking street, and I go ape shit just because it's just something else I could just nitpick at. And okay, the thing with the penny at 7-Eleven,
Hair tripping. Hey, crab apples.
yeah, I
Hygiene.
blew that out of proportion. But again, it's just something else that I can nitpick on. And to be honest, I made that whole thing up. Well, I didn't make the whole thing up. She really didn't give me the penny, but I really didn't make a big deal about it in the store. So it was, but the whole rest of the story was true with the girl in there.
Is this an old video? Yes, it is, crab apples. We were waiting for Mama Scrunch to connect. We've been waiting for about half an hour now. She's still having issues. Still also trying to confirm if this is the real Mama Scrunch. So that's what I've been trying to do this entire time. And what is Lovejoy? Lovejoy is an area of Buffalo. So maybe it's best I kind of put it on the map. And yeah, let's put it on the map so everybody's on the same page. So this is Lovejoy section of Buffalo, New York. That Dragon Lord Frodo grew up in, is accustomed to. Let's scroll out. So there we go. That's where it is in terms of Buffalo. And here it is up close. Lovejoy right there. Not that far away from downtown Buffalo, depending if you have a vehicle or even the bus, really. Not that far away. All right, we got Mama Scrunch connected. Um, what are we gonna do here? Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there, Mama Scrunch. How are you doing?
Good, good. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who doesn't have children in jail.
Happy Mother's Day. So
Well,
you finally connected. Okay,
it was my phone. My phone sucks.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, my Apple phone is much better, but I'm actually on my computer.
Oh, okay.
But I went in through a back door, which somebody told me about. I forgot what the hell it was called. But I'm here. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. We might be interrupted by my other children.
It's fine. We can
They're
continue.
the furry kind.
Yeah.
But they don't care. Funny thing is that on the phone, the hell did I do with them? I never realized it, Monty. I have the exact same glasses you have, which cracked me up.
Like these ones right here?
Yes.
Okay.
They're here someplace. I haven't been on this computer in 8 weeks, so.
I see. Well,
Okay.
happy Mother's Day to you. Unfortunate that DLF is locked up and that he'll be spending. Yeah.
I have furry children, much furrier than Mike. So I'm still a mom.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Always a mother, no matter what your kids are going through. You'll always, want the best for them.
All right. So he called me twice today. Let's get this out of the way. Now, I told you he gets like 5 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just explain something about him. His head, his brain is like a snow globe. Think of it that way. Everything's jumbled. Everything's doing whatever it wants to. So he explained to me the charges. And, okay. He explained that he was supposed to go in. Let's see. He was supposed to go in to go address the court about the charge that he caught before, contempt.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was because he couldn't keep his big trap shut. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they're saying that now, and I'm kind of blaming his lawyer at this point, did not read all the words on the paper. He wasn't supposed to drink or do drugs during this time that he was out.
Oh, so that's what they got him on?
That's the one thing they got him on. There's only one extra count.
Oh, I thought it was two.
Well, that's what he told me at first. He also told me at first that he was supposed to be on the 6th, but he said he might be wrong. It's probably June 2nd. You have to excuse me. The pollen count here in Buffalo is crazy today. Okay. So he had to go to court, and I guess his lawyer, I'm a little worried about this lawyer. They're gonna try to fight the first contempt charge based upon free speech.
Okay.
Now, in Michael's snow globe of a brain, this is how he sees it. He is, he is claiming that it is his right to make fun of or speak about anybody that's a public person or anybody in the public. And I tried to explain to him that you're not talking about Lindsay Lohan. You're not talking about Michael Jackson. You're talking about the dude that wants to put you behind bars.
Yep. Exactly.
He can't get it. He cannot get it. He believes that his constitutional rights, and that's what I can't believe the lawyer wants to have him go to a jury trial.
What's wrong with that?
Well, here's the thing. Think about it. You've heard him talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to sit there and listen to him recant everything over and over and over again? It makes me nuts.
But wouldn't it be worse with the judge, though? If it was a judge?
Well, here's the thing. He had a choice of 90 days or a jury trial. Well, he's already in for the 30 days so that they can do his capacity trial and his not a trial, consultation. So they can also do a psych evaluation. And his trial, well, let's see. They said that will end on June 2nd. And his trial is June 20th. And that's to face the charges of the breaking the probation. I didn't even know he was on probation. I don't think he knew he was on probation.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he never brought up probation before. But the thing is that it seems what's happening with society these days is they like to give people sentences and then they like to give extra long probation. So sometimes people might be in for a short while or a long while or a little while, but then you'll have these years of probation that could be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. I've even heard of 10 years of probation. How can you have 10 years of probation? But that's what they're doing these days.
They need to watch them. You know what I mean? I've done everything I can. My husband and I, you don't even know what we've been through for the past 38 years. I mean, it's crazy. At first, when he was a little kid, they used to tell us that they didn't have a word for autism. They didn't have a diagnosis of autism then, back in 1984. What they told us was it was a parenting issue. And the parent advocate I had was a mother of a child with cerebral palsy. The problem with that is, though, is that Mike has an unseen disability, and the child with cerebral palsy has a blatant, outright, you can tell there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, why don't you get me somebody that's similar to my child? And they said, well, they didn't have anybody at that time. So they threw him on Ritalin. And when then the Iraq War came. No, the Gulf War. The Gulf War came. And his doctor was a medic in the Army. His doctor left. And this doctor from New York City, very nice lady, came in and said to me, your child's autistic. And that was the first time we ever heard of it. But he's on the high end of autism because he's
high functioning.
we didn't know anything about it at that time. We didn't know what caused it. We didn't know what did it, But like I said, he had his measles, mumps, and rubella shot. And absolutely, I agree with you. We didn't know what made him so sick. And then when he came out of it, he was just a different child.
So to clarify, the Gulf War was from August 2nd, 1990 to February 28th, 1991. And you were saying he got his mom's rubella and something else shot, and he got into a coma, right? That's what you said?
Right.
How many days was that coma?
4.
4 days.
4 days.
Okay.
Yeah. High fever, and then right into a coma.
So was this coma like overnight, or was it immediate? Like, was it fulminant? Like it just immediately came on as soon as he got a shot?
No, it took a few hours.
Okay.
It was a few hours. He was afebrile at the time, and then started getting a rising temperature.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I believe in vaccines. I don't know about the 4th booster shot they're trying to press on us now, but I'm all for the vaccines. But for a while there I was like, look what happened. And at that time I was 84. I was 22 years old. And I knew nothing. Yeah, I knew nothing of medicine at that time. I was a florist. So I knew nothing of it. But I started learning little by little that there were other people. You should really take some butterscotch for that.
I will.
It works, believe me. So that's basically what happened. And then they told us he had pervasive developmental disorder. That was kind of interesting. Then they told us he had oppositional disorder. Then we took him to one psychiatrist that said, you have to be in his world in order to be able to understand what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just crazy. Then we found Dr. Nintendo. And Dr. Nintendo was probably, he's passed on now. But Dr. Nintendo, and the reason why I called him Dr. Nintendo, his name was Mike Oldfield. And he had a big dog that he used to have in there with the kids. And he was a child psychologist. And he used to play video games with Mike. And they used to be able to work it out between the two of them. They would have their sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing okay. He had been kicked out of several schools because he would perseverate on words. He would find kick words. He still does to this day. and he would not shut up about it. So he went into a place that was out in Williamsville, New York. You can Google this one.
What do you mean by kick words?
These were words that would set him off. That he
Okay.
would
Could
start
you give
just
an example?
whip.
Okay.
Yeah. If you remember the song by Bon Jovi, what the hell was it? I'm a cowboy, steel horse. But he would change it to on a steel whip I ride. And that word just would set him off, and he would just keep going and going and going and going.
So you mean like he like repeating the word?
Yeah, he perseverated on it.
Okay, so did he like what was it? Devo Whip It?
No. No. He never liked any of the music I listened to. Unfortunately. He was always into this thrash metal. That's it. Tight and Stiff. That was Eugene. I'm going to blame Eugene for that one, because the two of them used to play off each other. Now, Eugene, as far as I could tell, Eugene was and I don't know what you can call normal anymore, but Eugene was a normal kid. Eugene was great. I loved Eugene. Matter of fact, somehow or another, I got a Mother's Day wish from Eugene from the grave today. He must have something set up with his Facebook that automatically sends me Mother's Day wishes, because he's been sending them to me for years since he's passed. And he passed when the pandemic first started.
Yeah, in 2020, I believe.
Yeah, when Michael had run into the hell was it? What do you call it? The signal signs, the box that controls the traffic signals. He ran into that with that tricycle.
Or was that when he like got down the hill and he broke his leg?
No, no. The falling down the hill was priceless. I almost wanted that as my screensaver. The whole thing. Oh, timeout. That kind of stuff. But Eugene passed away. I think it was the 13th of June, because it was Juneteenth here in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And or was that the day his homecoming was? But Eugene really suffered. That poor kid. And the last time I saw him, I actually got Eugene tickets to Tim McGraw, the country singer.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got Eugene tickets because he was an autograph hound. And he would go to the airport and he would wait for all these celebrities to come in. And I got him front row tickets for Tim McGraw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Eugene has been with Michael since he was about 7 maybe. I forget how long it's been. But he went to he was in a regular public school. Hi. He was in a regular public school. Is that Instagram? Did I just read that right?
Yeah, we're the notorious crew.
Get out of here, you bums.
What happened with Instagram?
Yeah.
You got beef with Instagram?
I got no beef with anybody but Grandmaster Titty, I think it is.
Really? What's wrong with Grandmaster Titty?
I wish he would stop posting Michael's videos, because every time he posts the old videos, I have to get on YouTube and tell them to take it off, because he's got one on there that I really, they're like my family's like private home movies.
Oh yes, I saw that. Like the I was just actually looking at that about an hour ago. Like
Yeah.
the whole movies
Wasn't
from
he a
the
cute kid?
90s and everything. Yeah. Okay, if anybody doesn't know, Grandmaster Titi is a archiver of DLF. There's a lot of channels that archive a lot of people who are considered more or less problematic. So for DLF, Grandmaster TD and other people are the archivers, and they will just put anything and everything on. So that is
Yeah.
what Mama Scrunch is talking about.
Yeah. Just my family videos out of it. I don't care what you put. But they're also kind of hanging Michael. And don't get me wrong. What he did was wrong. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys know what he's been in jail for?
He did tell me he had 5 previous arrests, and he kind of ran me through with exactly the Clint situation and the barf situation. But did you want to clarify these?
Well, yeah, there's one, the one that really was very upsetting to me was that it was a girl that he was hanging out with. She lived in the neighborhood and she became pregnant, not by Mike.
Oh, that one. And he keeps saying that she has animal sex. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
please
yeah.
explain that. Yes, go ahead.
I can't even explain it. How do you explain that mess? Um, but he was hanging out with her, and I guess she was kind of giving him signals. As you know, he doesn't take signals very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she was kind of giving him signals that she was kind of interested in him, but then came up pregnant.
Oh,
So, and he had never been with her because the only person he had ever been with was Amy.
Amy M. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a whole basket case on her own. They deserved each other though. I didn't know she was on a game show though.
Yeah, he gave me the link to it. And then I was like, and he's like, yeah, that's her new man. I'm like, okay, DLF. Yeah,
I,
did you see the clip?
no, I didn't because I can
Oh,
tell you if that's actually Amy.
it was though. Like
Oh, it
we
was.
confirmed. Yeah, it was Amy.
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the last time I saw her, I was sitting in the show behind her about 6 or 7 rows. And my friend that I was with really felt bad what happened to Mike over the whole Amy situation. And he started throwing jujubes at her. Uh, not good for a 70-year-old man to be throwing things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but back to that scenario that happened when he threatened to, I don't even want to say it, it's horrible. I mean, he threatened to take the baby out of this girl.
Yeah, I forgot what was her name. Something like something Nay
Please
Rajewski.
don't say her name, please, my
Okay,
God.
okay. Well, I won't.
Let's just say it was KPR.
Okay.
And he couldn't say the name enough. And I kept saying to him when he got, I went, and my rule was I will bail you out of jail once. I've never been in jail. I don't know what it's like. I would not survive. Okay. I'm a little too pampered. My husband was in jail once when he was younger for like overnight. So I said to him, I will bail you out once. After that, you're on your own. I even went to go see him. The first thing out of my mouth, I saw him like sitting across the room. It wasn't like you see on TV, like you go and hold, yeah, exactly, and hold the phone and you talk to him. It was like
Yeah.
a bunch of semicircles. He was on one side, and then you could walk around. First thing out of my mouth, across the room, I yelled, "You idiot!" I was so mad at him. And the cop said, "Ma'am, you need to calm down." I'm like, okay. And then I got closer to him and I sat down. I said, "You're an idiot. I will bail you out once. After this, you're on your own. Everybody's allowed to make a mistake." But he couldn't stop. And that's why I wonder about this psychiatric evaluation. they're looking to see if he's going to be able to stand trial. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he is. He knows right from wrong. He wasn't raised by wolves, you know. I did the best I could with what I had, not much. But can he actually go through with the ramifications of his actions? This is my question to the courts. The second time he got arrested, no, wait a minute. Maybe this was the third time. I can't remember.
Maybe I'll give you a rundown what he says. He says in 2013 he got arrested for harassing a dude who was harassing him. Was that Clint?
Yeah,
I
that was
think that was
Clint.
Clint. In 2015, he got arrested over a woman who claimed that he was going to her work. That's Barf.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2017, he was arrested for making a video where he ripped this chick. I guess that's the CR.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, that
Yeah,
chick.
we don't
With,
even want to
yeah.
hear her name.
Then 2019, he had he heard he had a warrant for his arrest and turned himself in over a complaint during protests. That was 2019. Then the 2020 was for the mermaids.
Yeah, I think they've came and gotten him every single time. I don't think he's ever turned himself in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's horse pucky. Okay. But the one time he did get arrested, I'm trying to think. What did he say? I think it was because the Clint Carr one, we went to court. I stood in the back. That was just crap. You know what I mean? The second one, that was the girl.
Mm-hmm.
The third one was he gives some story about going to Target.
Yeah, that was the Barf situation because she
He didn't go to
worked there.
Target.
And then he was saying that his uncle told him to go to Target
No.
and it was okay. Is that true? Or is that just a...
Here's the thing. My brother said, you don't have a protection order on you. You can go anywhere you want. But the problem is, I think at that time he was living in South Buffalo. And he went way the hell out to Williamsville, which is probably 16 miles. You had to go to that Target.
Oh, yeah.
And I had already called the Target to see if they had him on a list or something.
Mm-hmm.
To see if he wasn't allowed to go. And they didn't have a list of anything like that. They only keep lists for like shoplifters and things like that. So, okay. So not only did he go to Target, which he said he needed gloves at that time. Okay. I don't know why. It was cold out, but he said he was cutting through. Now, here's the thing. He was cutting through her street to get to a GameStop. Now, if you were just cutting through her street, why did you videotape it?
Yeah.
Why did you videotape it and run your mouth when you got by her house and start talking shit outside her house?
Mm-hmm. So it's like he's placing himself in a situation where he could be
right.
arrested.
Right.
And that's what happened.
You know what? We have a theory that this, being arrested is like a vacation to him.
Oh, really?
When you live in a 10 by 10 room, and now that Eugene's gone and Gravy's gone.
Yeah. He doesn't have anybody else.
He doesn't have anybody else. And I have him blocked on everything now.
Yeah, but he does have people online, which I think aren't the best for his health, though.
Yeah, Instagram, you want to speak up now?
Could we also talk about let's go backwards a little bit. The purple horse thing. He said that he went into a children's psychiatric facility because he painted a horse purple. And his teacher said, why are you having a purple horse? Because horses are supposed to be brown or black or
You know what?
like gray or
If
white.
that was true, I'd have tore that teacher a new head. Okay.
That's what he said though.
Yeah, but snow globe effect.
Hmm.
He is a great. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Hang on, chill out. Um, he is a great confabulator. He remembers bits and pieces of things, and what he doesn't remember, he fills in.
Okay.
He's a great confabulator. And I've always said, there's the great pretender, and then there's Mike, the great confabulator. If his lips are moving, he's lying. There was a time he could not tell a lie. But now we can't tell when he's telling the truth.
Okay.
So that's why when I talk to him, I write stuff down. Because God only knows what he's saying.
I see.
Now the purple horse, I have no idea what the purple horse is about, but I would have been right there to say that yes, it's okay for him to draw outside the lines.
Okay, I see. So Andrea had asked the question, Mama Scrunch, how do you feel about his child predator associates and communications?
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, from the jail. Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. There's a couple of videos that he has me in where he comes up to the car and I would be dropping off money or food or whatever, and he would be high as a kite talking about cheese pizza. I can't even order a pizza now without like really retching on that. And I said,
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear that shit.
So the last time we saw you in a video was Christmas. You had that red Honda Accord.
Oh, yeah.
And you were dropping off presents and he kept on videotaping you in a very awkward manner, but like
Yeah.
what was that about? Like you just dropped off presents, then he just stopped talking to you again?
No, I stopped talking to him when he accused my brother.
But hasn't he accused your brother multiple times though over the
No.
last that
No.
was the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was ongoing.
When he got out of jail this last time, that's when all this bullshit started. With this cheese pizza, and I didn't even know what a PDF file was other than a PDF file. I didn't.
Right, yeah.
Adobe. I told
Yeah.
you right from the beginning, I am not computer savvy. As you have seen, I have an IT department that works with me because, like I told you, when I was in school, my printers had daisy wheels. Okay. So it amazes me that they just pop out now.
Daisy wheels. I think those are the dot matrix printers,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So anything that I know about computers, it's from my IT team.
Oh wow. So
Because I don't deal with, the only thing I do are do my notes in a computer. I see patients face to face. So I just do notes in the computer. And as a matter of fact, most of the time, because I'm in a hurry, I'll either send myself an email by speaking into my phone, and then I send myself the email and just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much task oriented, but not the greatest typer as you have seen. Plus, I also, because I've been sick lately, I need a manicure. My nails are too long to type into a little phone.
Yeah, I see. Before we get any further between the allegations he keeps accusing you of, because he keeps doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I had a little chat with them about that today too.
Yeah. Do you know who Foodie Beauty is?
I actually thought it was Michael.
You thought Foodie Beauty was Michael? He's a Foodie Beauty?
I thought that was him, and he had just done something with his face.
Are you saying that you think your son looks like Foodie Beauty? You just said that right now.
Yeah, you heard me. You heard me right. I did want to say something that you did mention the other day, though. He has Asperger's.
Yeah.
He has schizophrenia, and he has something called Prater Willie.
Oh, he does. Okay.
That's why he eats like he does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of look back at the email that I sent you, because now you know why he dumpster dives.
Mm-hmm.
He is Prater Willie. And that's why we had always said to him, Michael, you can only have one piece of pizza for lunch. Michael, you can only have this for this. We were watching his portions because Prater Willie, if y'all don't know, is they lack some neuron that actually connects to the part of the brain that tells them that they're sated, that they're full, and they're like puppies. They will eat until they puke. So that's why, if that makes any sense now. And we always called it boxcar willies because we kind of tried to make it as normal as you could be. I've never treated him as if he was handicapped. There was no need to.
Mm-hmm. So what's with this vitriol against you talking about who was it that touched his fat, his uncle, his rich?
Oh my God.
What does he call his rich uncle? Rich uncle? Why is bodega uncle?
Oh, because he gives everybody names. Why am I Mama Scrunch?
Why are you Mama Scrunch? Is that because of the scrunchie?
No, because I used to have long hair. I worked in a hospital. I always had to have my hair back. He tells some story about me being late for work. I've been late for work twice in my life. And believe me, it's not it. I used to work far from Buffalo. Okay. I worked in Toronto. I would have to do the hour and 20-minute fly up the QEW. And I worked in Lockport. I've worked everywhere. I worked in Rochester. I worked everywhere.
Oh, wow. That's a
twice.
journey.
Yeah, twice have I been late to work.
Especially if you're going. So you were telling me you went from Buffalo into Toronto for work. Like you used to
Yes.
work on your University Avenue?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
a
journey.
I started off on Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter Street.
And Shooter.
CAMH?
No, well, you know what? I'm not really sure what they're calling it now, but it was
if you're saying
Casey
Shooter, it's CAMH, which is the Center for Addiction and Mental Health.
Okay, it used to be called Casey House.
Oh, that's
Casey
why.
House was the first HIV hospice. It came about 1988, and it's a mansion on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was bought by two women, one woman whose son, I believe, died in a driving accident, and the other mother.
Kenny J's right.
There.
It's St. Mike's. Yeah, Shooter Street is St. Mike's. I got it mixed up.
Yeah, we're not talking about St. Mike's.
Oh, it's not St.
We're talking about Isabella.
Oh, let me look that up.
Yeah, you got to go into Boys Town.
Yeah, that's like by Bay Station though, because I remember those. I know those streets because I used to live close to there before.
Okay.
So I know where Shooter Street is because I used to live close to Yonge and Dundas back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I hung out mostly in Boys Town because I was an outreach person for Casey House.
Okay.
And I used to be the one that handed out the condoms down at Oscar Wilde's and Sailors. And I would go sit on the steps. And anybody that lived in Toronto knew where the steps were. It was, what was it? Second Cup Coffee.
Yeah.
On Church Street. Oddly enough, no churches on Church Street. But a lot of Queens on Queen Street. Go figure that one out.
Mm-hmm.
But so so I was only late for work twice in my life, and it was both border issues.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I would go through so many times. So what the scrunchy thing was I always liked this brand. It was spelled CRUNCH. SFRUNCCI. And it was, and they had scrunchies that didn't rip my hair out of my head because I had long hair, and I worked in the CCU with people that just got out of open heart surgery, and I couldn't have any stray hairs that would fall into an incision. That's how I got the name.
Okay.
Because we always at Christmas time, and if you were watching the family videos, you would see that kid was spoiled rotten.
Yeah, he's like, he gets a lot of things.
He would get 5 Christmases
Mm-hmm.
because he was an only child. But the one thing that his father had always grown up with was that stockings are to be filled. So, because the way it was when they were kids was the American kids got dolls and army men and stuff like that, and the Italian kids got oranges and fruit in their stockings. That's just the way it was in their household. And so the stockings always had a toothbrush, deodorant, had all the stuff that you would just shove in there, you know? And when my husband would take Mike shopping for me for Christmas, he would always say, "Oh, this is the kind that Mama likes." And it was the CRUNCC, or was it CRUNCII? It was a weird spelling. And I believe they still sell them, although I cut my hair off.
Somebody in the chat says they yes, they know that brand and they love that brand. So yeah, I guess they still have them. So
so that's how I got my name.
Yeah. So how did Bodega Uncle and Rich Uncle get their names?
Okay, Rich Uncle is, my brother has only had one job his entire life. Thank you. That's it. He's only had one job his entire life. Yeah, I wish I had long hair again too. So he's been doing very well at his job. He's an accountant. He's actually a controller, and he started there right out of college. And so he's been working there forever. And because he's single, and he's about investing, he's got money. Rightfully so. And that's how he came out to be the Rich Uncle.
I see. And what doesn't Michael not like about him?
In my family, growing up, we didn't come from small people. Okay? We came from very big people. And this goes back to as far as my father. I have 2 brothers, very, very tall, very big guys. My older brother was a shot putter, and my younger brother, well, he was pretty much a wastoid, but that's a different story. That's the drunkle. If you've ever heard him refer to drunkle, that's Bodega.
Yeah, Bodega Uncle's the drunkle. Yes, he said that many times.
Bodega Uncle finally grew up at the age. Okay, if we're doing this, I'm absolutely a Scorpio, and he is absolutely a Capricorn. Good luck with that. So drunkle is exactly that. He finally grew up, though, and through all of his drinking, he's hurt himself. He's actually gone blind. He's had a lot of he's had a lot of problems with I want to say psoriasis, not psoriasis. The word escapes me right now. Sorry. With the liver, he's got a fatty liver.
Cirrhosis of the
Cirrhosis.
liver.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I don't know. No, I'm Italian and English. And hence the blonde hair and brown eyes. But he drank himself pretty much into the gutter. Okay, but he finally grew up about 2 years ago, and he got into some program where they hire people that are either low vision or blind to run these bodegas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he had a chance to buy into it, so he bought into it with a little help from Rich Uncle and myself.
Oh, that's awesome that you guys help each
So,
other out like that.
yeah, well, our parents have been gone since let's see, I was like 30 I was 25 when my father passed, and I was 30 when my mother passed.
I'm sorry to hear.
So I have been the mother of the family since
So
then.
you're the oldest then?
No, I'm the middle.
Okay. Who's the
I'm the
oldest?
Rich Uncle.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so he kind of took over as when my mother was very, very ill, when she was dying, he couldn't come into my house because he doesn't do death, he doesn't do sickness, but he does money. So we all kind of had our own things. I do medical. Rich Uncle did the money part of it, and Drunkle, he just kind of he helped out where he could.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, so altogether between the three of us, we've taken care of each other and that. And anything that had to do with Michael, you know, I've only once had to borrow money from my brother. And that was because I couldn't get into my bank account because Michael had drained it.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
Many years ago?
Yes. I gave Michael, I had a small bank account, and I normally go to Florida from February until May. And actually Memorial Day weekend, we start driving home. And I go with a travel friend of mine, and we have a very nice house on the beach in Florida. And you'll hear Michael bitch that I would never take him. But that's because Michael refused to stay in a hotel, and I wouldn't let him sleep in the car. But that's besides the point. But normally I'm gone through the winter. I had a work-related accident back in 2005. I'm basically put together with Band-Aids and spit. That's why I've been kind of just sitting in one spot here, because I'm basically plastered into a chair right now. I'm waiting till the 17th until I can have what they call a radio frequency ablation so that I can move again. So, but I was down in Florida, and I went to go to the bank, and my bank was empty. I had no money.
How much was gone?
Probably about $600.
Okay.
It was a small bank account. You know, it was just for cash.
What did he use it for?
I have no idea. Probably video games.
I was just gonna say that, like video games or food.
Video games. Yeah, he wasn't doing weed yet.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't doing weed yet. I don't know. Eugene got him started with weed. But God bless Eugene. He needed the weed for the pain.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Could I ask, why does he keep saying that rich uncle keeps touched his fat, and then
oh
his
yeah.
latest
Okay.
therapist says that that's assault? He was
Well,
sexually assaulted.
his therapist is a moron. Okay. It's not sexual assault. And we had a chat about that today. Okay. I said to him, what you did to my brother was egregious. And the only reason why I'm answering the phone is because you amuse me at this point, Michael. I said, I can't believe what you did. Well, he touched me. He touched my Clooney. Have you ever heard that?
No. What's a Clooney? Is like a George Clooney? What is that?
It's a George
Really?
Clooney. It's a George Clooney haircut.
Oh, okay. I've never
And
heard that before.
it's so ridiculous. And we used to laugh about it. We were like, we used to walk by him, and because it felt cool, because at one time he had beautiful hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he had the most beautiful hair. So we'd walk by and just rub his Clooney. And we used to laugh about it. Yes, Judge, I touched his Clooney. Take me to jail. You know. And somehow or another, since he's been released from the pedophile folks, all of a sudden, now this is a sexual thing.
Hmm.
Now, like I said, we didn't come from small people. Okay. So even as far back as his grandfather, Drunkle was a chubby kid who liked wearing striped shirts. Please, God, don't ever give the guy a striped shirt. He should not wear stripes. So he always had a little roll of fat. And my father used to kid with them and say, yeah, you got it. That's what it
Oh,
was.
a Clooney's a Caesar cut. Okay.
Yeah, but with really, really thick hair.
Mm-hmm.
So my father used to say, and the chromos are in his ears. Yeah, exactly. My father used to say, come on, Drunkle's name is Scott. He'd say, hey, Scott, play your fat like a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had this little chub that used to, that's all it was. That's all it was. It was, I grew up in a sarcastic, I always said that my father was an intelligent, uneducated man. Because he only went to like, I think, 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
But he was brilliant. He was a writer. He was a disc jockey here in Buffalo. He did fine for himself.
That's amazing. Education isn't everything. There's lots of people who own companies and didn't finish high school. So
Exactly. But to his undoing, he did not take his health seriously. He was a brittle diabetic, and you'll probably see pictures of him. I think it was like 3 months before he passed. If you look in the family photos, and that's why I don't want that on the internet, because my father just looks horrible.
mm-hmm.
Not the man that I knew. But
Yeah.
that's all that was about. This was the Clooney. And Michael, of course, because I couldn't control his eating, he would walk from my house to Rich Uncle's house, which is only 5 blocks away. He would tell Rich Uncle that I didn't feed him. So Rich Uncle would feed him. And then on the way home, he would stop at the pizzeria and get a sub and 10 breadsticks. Was it 10? Yeah, sub and 10, they used to call it. And 10 breadsticks. And he would sit inside the pizzeria and eat this sub and 10 after my brother fed him and I fed him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a chunky kid.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah. So every now and then, like if his shirt like if he was sitting at my brother's house and his his shirt was up, my brother would go, "Cover that fat." And he'd poke him. That was it.
So that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from. And I said to him today, "Did he ever touch you in your private area?" "No, but he put his finger in my belly button once." Now, according to my brother, he said, "I wouldn't do that on a dare." He said, even then, the kids smelled like a ham sub and unwiped ass.
Yeah, well, I remember that statement. What was it like? Yeah, you said unwiped. What does he smell like? I remember that. That was from my very first video on you guys with the conversation with the feather. Well, that was super awkward. But we're gonna get to that in a second. What we need to get to is why does he think his dad, which is your husband,
Oy
watches
vey.
Hannah Montana and makes sexually charged comments?
Okay. There was some, because I told you Michael takes on personas of other people that he's surrounded by. Now, I worked in the gay community. Okay. I think all but one of my friends is gay. Michael had a friend that was transsexual, lived in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a lovely girl. And I met her, took her to lunch, lovely people. And you know what? Working at Casey House, how else could I feel? You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, it was the gay plague. Straight people didn't get it. Only gay men got it. That was the gay cancer. So, excuse me. So, Michael was saying some strange things. Like he was attracted to like certain kind of people. Meaning there was some guy, and I can't remember his name, lived out in West Seneca. I guess he lived in the group home with Michael. We think that something happened between the two of them, which is quite normal to experiment. We get it. Okay. And at that time, my poor husband, I have a 5K television. My husband still watches black and white. Why do I have any K? You know what I mean? He watches old movies all the time. My husband was watching iCarly. It had nothing to do with Hannah Montana. It was iCarly. And because he enjoyed the show. And at that point, we were trying to find out if anything had happened between this guy, and I cannot remember his name at this point, and Michael. I mean, because he takes on these different personas, my husband was basically trying to figure out, is my son gay? We wouldn't have cared. I could care less. But he said to Michael when Hannah Montana was on the one time, "That's a pretty sexy girl, huh?" That's all he said. But then later on, as what's her face got older, she came out with that wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And I said, "You got to stop saying that shit. And this chick's naked on a wrecking ball." So the stuff he said was kind of crude, but it never. And the thing I was so worried about was some of those folks that he talks to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was. Thank you very much. I was very well known in Toronto in the 80s. Some of those folks on that channel, they really scared me. Because the way they would speak about my husband, I was always, and rich uncle was always worried about this too. He goes, one of these days, a Molotov cocktail is going to go flying through your window. And that's when I said to him, you got to stop talking like this. This is horse shit. You got to stop talking like this. Your father's not making inappropriate remarks because he's attracted to them. You know, I don't know why you've got to say these things. And he said, well, you know, he watches iCarly. And why does he watch Hannah Montana? Hey, it's not my fault that the guy's got poor taste in TV. You know? Hang on 1 second.
No problem.
I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but
it's okay.
Oh, I just got to make sure. I'm going to get closer to me. Oh, that's me right near my. Oh, I'm all right. Oh, it's my drunkle brother trying to explain to me why his conversation stopped earlier, because he forgot to plug in his phone. Because he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer either.
It's all good.
Yeah. So these are things that are completely normal. I'm not saying, oh, that's a sexy girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Goddess of Pain is asking serious question. Does she, as in you, feel safe if
yes,
Jordan sees this?
Bring it on, Mike. Because he did pull a knife on me once.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Was it over his controller?
Yeah.
Did you throw it at him?
I kicked it across the room.
Okay, but not in his direction, or did he hit him, or was he?
No, it went from my living room to my kitchen. What happened was Michael used to bring his clothes over here to wash.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he brought a bag, left it. We weren't home. Left it. And because he used to steal from me constantly, and I'm not talking $10, I'm talking thousands. Okay. He used to leave his bag of clothes outside the door. And frankly, between you and the rest of the panel here, would any of you want to touch his laundry?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So my husband would grab the bag, you know, and dump it in the washer, throw bleach in it, whatever, close the lid, and that was it. Well, we didn't know that jerk put his iPad in between like his nasty laundry. So when we figured it out real fast, I grabbed a thing of rice. I threw it in the rice, hoping that it would, because I dropped when I used to carry a pager, I dropped my pager in a toilet once. But it worked. I threw it in rice and oops, it still worked. So we were okay. Hey, no Dramamine for me, huh? Every time I watch Michael's, I'm like, oh my God, my head's spinning. Yeah. So he starts freaking out. And I said to him, you know what? He didn't know. What kind of moron hides that inside nasty laundry that I wouldn't even touch with 3 layers of gloves on? Okay? You're lucky we do your laundry for you. You're an adult. Well, he got really pissed off. Then, out of nowhere, he said that this is somebody told him this, and I know that he repeats this verbatim. She was out of touch with reality, a danger to herself and others. She was damaging personal property, blah, blah, blah. He goes through this whole bucket list or whatever and said, so I had to calm her down. So I pulled a knife on her. Shocked the shit out of me, that's for sure. Well, wait, let me back up. So he was on I think at that time it was a 75-inch television playing his video games, but he had it paused. And I said to him, Michael, don't pause it. Because, I was always told that it would imprint. on the
Uh,
TVs?
I think on the older systems and older computer monitors, it would, especially the CRTs.
Well, you lost me on that one. Um,
Yeah, it's true. It was true. That's why they invented the screensaver so that there's constant movement on the screen.
right, right. Now my TV does that now.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time he had like I forgot what he was playing, but it was paused. And I said, "Don't do that because it'll burn the image into it, and I'll be damned if I want to watch whatever this crap is you're playing." And he's like, "Well, Dad ruined my um." He had my old um. I forgot what kind it was. It wasn't an iPad. It was. I don't even know how to work this thing. It's sad. Look at it's got dust on it.
Seems like it's just a like a 7-inch Android tablet
Yeah, that's what
back
it.
in the day. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had one of those back in
look
the
at this.
day.
See, it's a Kindle Fire for Dummies. That's how
Okay.
dumb I am. And then I even had my godchild. She wrote me a note on how to work the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I really am. I think I might be a little retarded sometimes. What can I tell you?
So he pulled a knife on you, and you felt away. So you told him not to pause the
Right.
TV.
And then I think he told me to kiss his ass or something like that. And his controller was on the floor, and I kicked it into the kitchen and told him, "Get out of my house." So he wasn't moving fast enough. Now, mind you, his laundry's all there. Okay. So what I did was I kicked it into the kitchen, told him, "Get out of my house. Don't come back to my house unless you're on medication." Okay. That's how it's going to be. You want to play these games? Then the next thing I know, he pulls a knife on me. My husband, who I didn't think could actually move that fast, jumps in between us and nearly killed him. And didn't hit him or anything, didn't just packed up all of his shit in a bag and threw it out in the driveway. Told him, "Get out." And then Mike called Rich Uncle to tell him he pulled the knife on me. And at that point, my brother said, "I have had it with you. Don't come to my house anymore unless you're on medication." Everybody, we started a concerted effort that we were going to get Michael onto the right medications. And that's kind of why he hates my brother Mark. Plus we also in my family we do something. He mentions that he abused my mother too, when my mother was dying. We used to turtle each other. Do you know what that is?
No, could you please explain?
When a turtle gets on its back and can't get up, they're turtled.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I did it to myself this morning getting out of bed because of my back. I couldn't get out of bed this morning. I had to finagle a way to get out of bed because I was on my back. But my mother, to make her laugh, the woman when she was really sick, she was like, she died of breast cancer and she didn't believe in mammograms. Ladies, get your mammograms.
Hmm.
Call your friends every second of the month. Get your mammograms. If
That's
you
what
need a
they
ride,
say.
I will take you
And guys are
in
supposed
my
to get
fancy
their prostates
red
checked.
car.
Oh, we got to talk about how did you get that car, because
Oh yeah,
DLF says you stole money from his services that he gets.
yeah, right. That's a roll up the rim to win car.
You actually won it.
My husband, well,
Oh,
my husband's nephew won it,
is it?
and
Do they still do the 1 year thing? Because I remember before somebody won it, but it's more like you only get a lease for 1 year. What is yours? You full out
no,
win it?
it's yours. It's yours all
Wow,
in.
that is a really nice win.
Yeah. So my husband's nephew won it. Okay, right down the street from us, and he's a Jeep guy. And he's like,
Okay.
I don't want no friggin'. And I've always been a Ford Escape person. I've always
Mhm.
had Ford Escapes because I sometimes have to go into the mountains in Cattaraugus County, and
Mhm.
I need the 4-wheel drive. So I guess it's my nephew. Um, he was kind of asking around the family, does anybody want this car? And my husband said, yeah, sure. How much you want for it? So he sold it to him at a very nice price.
You should ask me. I want a red Honda Accord with chrome. No, it's like Gunsmoke rims. I really like
Yeah,
your car.
they're
It's nice.
funky rims
Yeah.
until you try to drive it in the snow. Um, I had to actually put out and get snow tires for it,
Yeah.
which really kind of suck because they're racing tires. But I tell you, I've had more speeding tickets in that car than I'd like to admit because it flies.
It does.
It's a very nice car. Um, and so it is true. People do win those things.
Well, this is my first time ever hearing that somebody actually won. So
Yeah, and
wow.
it's not a lease. It's not a
Mhm.
lease. They offered him the money or the car. Wait a minute. I don't know if they offered him the money. But I know he had to pay the taxes on it.
Mhm.
So he was like, I don't have the money to pay the taxes on it. You know. So long story short of it was my husband said, I'll buy it from you. So he paid the taxes on it, got it at a decent price, came with the full warranty. And matter of fact, just took it in the other day because the windshield wiper motor was on recall or something like that.
Mhm.
And it's still under warranty.
So why does Mike think you stole money from him for this car?
That kid doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Okay. So I don't know his benefits. He actually, when I got hurt in 2005,
Oh, hopefully we didn't lose Mama Scrunch because this interview's been going well. We'll keep waiting. She's paused. Okay, we're gonna.
I had to walk. Okay.
Okay, you're back. You're back. So
I
you
think
were talking about 2005.
I think I hit my. I got to stay away from that. Okay, 2005. I had a very 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 large woman fall on me in the hospital,
Oh,
and actually, I lost 6 vertebrae in my back.
yikes! OMG.
So I am put together like a small roller coaster. And so I was out on Social Security disability for like 5 years because I had to learn how to walk again.
Mm-hmm.
When I went out, because I was the breadwinner, my husband was already retired. Michael got an increase in his Social Security because he got Social Security when he was about, I want to say 8 or 9 years old, somewhere around there. It's been so long, I don't even know. We're looking at, going on 38 years. I'm lucky I can remember what I did yesterday. Thank you, Percocet. And Robaxin. Yeah, he thinks that he should have. Well, first of all, he left my house when he was 18 years old because he didn't want to live under my rules. Because as understanding and all that I am, I'm a bitch. Okay.
So did you go live in a group home?
What happened was he left here. He was homeless. And he went to go live with the friars which is like a place for homeless kids. And then they put him into a group home. And that's where he met Baloney Arm and all these other people. As you can see, he's been giving people names all the while.
Yeah.
I don't know why you call him Baloney Arm. Kids seemed okay to me. I don't know. He came here a couple times when Michael would come to visit. But Michael, when he came from the group home, was starting to act even stranger and stranger. He was starting to take on, one kid there started fires, and you know, he would talk about fires and things like that, and weird shit, stuff that I couldn't even imagine. I had people that were delirious from fever that didn't talk about the shit that he talked about. So it was really kind of interesting, some of the stuff that would come out of him. I used to say that he would be the perfect groups or subject for somebody's PhD.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Somebody says that about, a lot of people say that about Chantel. Because
I don't know who Chantel is.
Chantel is who you think Dragon Lord Frodo dressed up as. Foodie Beauty.
Oh, okay. So she has an actual name.
Yeah, she has a full name. So if you're just joining us, Mama Scrunch actually thought that Foodie Beauty was Chantel dressing up. No. Mama Scrunch thought Foodie Beauty was Dragon Lord Frodo dressing up as a woman. I'm no bullshit. That's what
No. That's not what I thought. I just thought it was Mike doing something like. Didn't somebody do something about Dragon Lord Karen or something like that?
Yeah.
Put a wig on him.
Yeah. So you thought that was?
I got to tell you, freaking hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
We were dying. And here's the thing: for the past like 7-8 weeks, I've been kind of sick. So I get up every morning. I go sit in what I call my healing chair. It's the perfect wooden chair that. Oh, that was Daddy Duke's. Just checking in.
Let me see.
That's,
you need to take a break or anything? You're okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, that's good.
As long as I got my Pepsi, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because this is probably going to be one of the, because after the 17th, I go back to work, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to have time for any of this.
Oh, yeah.
So grab me while you can.
Sure.
And I think I explained to you this morning that that I only found you by accident because I have this thing for Ask the Mortician.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, I have Michael. I used to be subscribed. I don't think I am anymore.
You're most likely not, because his channels keeps getting removed. So you lose the subscription because the channels they're not there anymore. But yeah, right. I am pretty much Dragon Lord Frodo's arch nemesis. He talks about me all the time. We have a lot of back and forth.
I'm telling you, I have never laughed so much as when he said he was going to sue you. He can't go over the border. Yeah. He's banned from Canada, which pisses him off in the worst way. B, he doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And C, who was that friggin' lawyer? I saw him that day. As a matter of fact, we were coming. I had to go get a CT scan downtown. And we were driving down the main strip to go from downtown to our house. Mm-hmm. And I saw Michael on his tricycle. I nearly split myself. I'm like, oh my God, and I said to my husband, that's your son. He goes, where? I go, right there on that tricycle. No, I go, that's him. Come to find out, he was coming from a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I thought he was coming from Alibaba's, which is like a big shawarma place.
Oh, he goes there a lot?
Yeah. So, because they won't deliver to him.
Why not?
Because he lives in a secured building.
Okay.
No, NP. I still am RN, but yes, I'm an NP. But the thing is that I saw him and I was like, "That's your son." Notice it's not mine today.
Yeah, I did take notice of how you were
Yeah, yeah.
describing.
We claim him on certain days. I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
yours. That's the sarcastic family I grew up in. Like I always say to one brother, I'll say, "Your brother." Oh, he's not my brother today. No, I'm not taking him today. So the things that Mike says about all of these things were normal happenings in a home where we picked on each other. I mean, if you're the girl in between two boys, you're getting your ass kicked. So I learned to fight like a boy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, any other questions?
I'm sure people, if you have questions, then please ask right away so she can answer. Um,
I mean, if you want to take a break and go to this foodie booty or whatever.
no, no, we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
There is a man in Foodie Beauty's life that's rather skinny. I don't know. There seems to be lots of people who want to fight me online these days.
Yeah, I see you're being sued by half of was somebody in
YouTube.
Montreal. I'm like, oh, I
Yes, yes,
across the border.
that is the person who is rather skinny, and then Foodie Beauty isn't a small woman, so
No, I saw the side view of
yeah,
her the one day. I'm like, is she pregnant?
she's perpetually pregnant, is what I say. She's
Oh, because it
pregnant
said that her place
365.
was decorated by children, and I thought, I understand that.
Your son has the hots for Foodie Beauty, though.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt that. And here's the reason why. Amy, not the most gorgeous woman. I used to say that she was. Now, you guys refer to her as some character from.
Peter Pettigrew from
Yeah,
Harry Potter. We're not the one who actually studied that. I
I
asked
don't know who
Dragon
this
Frodo
guy
straight
is,
up, and I
and
was
I
like,
have never read.
Harry
I have
Potter.
never seen Harry Potter. I could care
Yeah,
less.
I can put it on the screen if you want
No,
me
please
to.
don't. Please don't. I'll just lose my lunch. It's not right. Let me keep my potato salad. Um. I used to say that Amy was a cross between the Jack in the Box, the head that you used to speak to when you go to Jack in the Box,
Mm-hmm.
and Ronald McDonald. And she used to do this all the time. She'd be sitting there watching TV and she'd do this. I'm like, dude, you're dating a bobblehead. What is going on here? And he's like, well, that's my. He used to call her kitten, and she used to call him puppy or something like that. I was like, I'm gonna puke right here. But they got along until they didn't.
Wasn't that a long time ago? Wasn't that like 2009 or something?
I can't tell you how long ago it was, but it was maybe 6, 7 years ago, maybe. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
could be a little longer. All I know is it is at a time that we did trust Michael to take care of my cats because I didn't have dogs then.
Mm-hmm.
I only had cats. And we would go out of town and Michael would watch the house, which was a huge mistake because we found out that he broke into our safe. He went through everything in the house. I also found out that he screwed Amy in my bed.
Oh, really? Why? How did you know that?
He
She leave
told
a wet
me.
spot? Was there like
No, dear
stains?
God, no. Dear God, no. He told.
What when he told you? Was he bragging or was he like just
No, no. In his defense, because of the autism, um, the first time he got laid, he called me and told me about it.
Oh, like that Lonely Island song. You
In
know the song?
No, thank God.
It's the song that goes, I just had sex and it feels so good. All right, so how did he tell you? So he told you, did he call you? Was he
In great
excited?
detail. In great
Oh,
detail.
really? Okay, what exactly did he say?
He just said that he finally did it and it was great and my hair stood on end. And the first thing on my mouth was, did you wear a condom? Because I'm thinking, oh, please don't knock this broad up. And he did,
Okay.
or at least he claims. And
Did he
then
describe the feeling to you like warm apple
yes,
pie or American pie? What was it?
no, he said it was better than his hand. But I'm telling you, the kid's a killer. He's actually quite funny when he's not weird.
Yeah. Did he brag that he had a lot of stamina, or did he say how
No,
long?
no, 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 no. Mm-mm. No, not like he said he shoots 10 feet. I'm like, please move the plants. That's an old joke around this house. We won't even talk about that. So he went into great detail. And his father was already in bed. And I was up getting ready to go to work. And I didn't know what to do with this information. I'm like, okay, now he told me this, and what do I do with this? So I called my brother, and I left it in his head and went to work. He said, you deal with this. He's yours.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, why are you telling me this? I said, because I need to get it out of my head. Here's your nephew. You can have him. And yeah. So, but he also told me about the bullshit with her
And the syphilis.
and the syphilis.
So what was that about? Like, was she trying to just like leave him and move on to another man?
No, I think she had syphilis.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
From who?
some dude.
So she was cheating?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, OMG.
yeah. So she wasn't a very. I saw her probably about 6 months afterwards. She goes to the same back doctor I do,
Mm-hmm.
and it took everything in me not to go over and just slap her in the back of the head. Because I'm like, why would you? You know how he is. Why would you even go there? If you had contracted this, because I made him go to the clinic then.
Yeah.
And he's like, can't you check it? I'm like, not over your dead body. No. So that ain't happening. So I made him go to the clinic, and he got checked out. Thank God he didn't have anything. Because I said to him, I said, there seems to be somebody in my husband's family that lost his hearing from syphilis.
Yeah, because it goes into your brain.
Yeah. And he's
Wasn't it
passed.
Al Capone or something that happened too? Yeah, I think it was Al Capone with the syphilis. But yeah, go ahead, Mama Scrunch.
Possibly. I was too busy studying in school to even know what happened. But I made him go get checked out and everything. But and he didn't want to. And I said to him, listen, I think it was one of my husband's relatives was deaf because, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of school. Maybe I shouldn't even say that. Let's scrap that. But I did convince him to finally go, and he did go. And then he came back and told me how they tested him, and I can't believe they did that to me, and blah blah blah. And it doesn't help that he's got an Irishman's dick. Oh, did I say that out loud?
What does that mean? Oh, it's small?
Poor thing. Yeah. Well, you've seen it on the internet, please.
Yeah, you're right. We have seen it on Kiwi Farms, but You're
Oh,
cold. You're cold, Mama Scrunch. You saying that
hey,
your son's
I
small dick
call it as
didn't?
I see it. I call it as I see it. He's not his father, that's for certain.
Whoa! OMG! Wow! You
Yeah,
throwing some hard shade right now.
that's okay though. And you know what? And what am I going to do? I mean, she did him wrong, and
Hmm.
I don't think he ever really got over that.
Yeah, well, he hasn't because he keeps bringing her up after so many years.
Even though
You're right.
she was a tilt-a-whirl, um, well, he brings everybody up after so many years. I mean, he hasn't seen Baloney Arm in 10 years,
Yeah,
but he talks about people like they're right there.
exactly. That's why I tell people if you want to cover DLF, it's a lifelong commitment because 10 years from now, 15 years, he's gonna keep talking about me. Be like, remember that Monty
Remember that
from
Monty?
Toronto?
Well, he even told me, he said, um, I said, by the way, I said, I think I'm going to do an AMA with Monty. He goes, why? I go, because you've been spreading a lot of bullshit. I said, I'm almost 60 years old. I don't have that much time left on this earth, and I'm not going to my grave with your bullshit. You know how he always says, don't put my name in your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
That came out of me, and he's been repeating it ever since. That was an AMA that I did with Michael on his channel. He asked me if I would do it the one time.
I
And then
see.
we made it into a drinking game for everybody because every time I call him a moron, everybody take a drink, because I just tell him the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You moron, you know. Oh, okay. Um, let's see. He's back in jail. He's in the medical. I guess I should have told you this earlier. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We can do it now.
He called me twice today. And of course, he wants to argue with me most of the time. He has no use for me unless I'm doing something for him, which, against my better judgment, I put money in his commissary because I think he's going to be there a long while. And the last time he was wearing flip flops that they gave him, and he's flat footed. He's like Barney Rubble. He needed sneakers. So those sneakers that he got from the commissary, thanks to Mama Scrunch. And so I guess he got there. He spiked the temperature. They called the nurse because he was sweating, I guess, all over the place. And his sugar was over 550 because he believes that he can control it with his mind. Snow globe. So they had to put him under. They cut it open. He's being packed with 6-inch gauze. Okay, so we're looking that and 2 rolls. So we're looking at 20, 40 feet. So that's how deep we are.
Wow. So, and I guess they're gonna are they gonna take whatever they cut out of him to pathology?
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Does that run in the family?
yes, it does. But everybody but the drunkle has had it, including myself. But it's called a pilonidal abscess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Pineonidal. It's usually runs in families, and in Michael's case, this is like the 4th time that he's had it, but it's never been on his butt cheek. It's always on the tailbone.
Mm-hmm. It says that it's due typically because of an ingrown hair.
Yes. And if that kid ain't hairy, no one's hairy. Oddly enough, I asked the drunkle today. I go, I really don't want to know this, but is your ass hairy? He goes, well, I'm pretty furry until we get to the crack of my ass. Then he goes, I don't shave or anything like that. He goes, but I don't have any hair on my ass. And his girlfriend said, no, she doesn't have any hair on his ass. And rich uncle, kind of a fur ball. And I guess I got mine. I fell on Mother's Day, actually. I fell and I hit my tailbone on a curb. And it hurt. A couple days later, I couldn't sit. I couldn't even get to the hospital. I had to lay in the back seat of the car. And when they sliced it open, I said, what the hell died in here?
Oh,
They go, that's you. I'm like, holy shit. But Michael had it so bad when he was younger that they actually they didn't have wound vac machines then.
yeah. He told us the story that they packed it and it had to heal inside out and not from the outside. So that's why
Right,
they
because
packed it.
if it leaves a space
Mm-hmm.
and any of that material, it'll regrow.
Yeah.
So his was so bad, he used to have to go. I used to have to take him to the hospital every morning, and they would whirlpool him. And then some broad put bleach. I'll never forget this. She put bleach in the water and whirlpooled him.
Are you? Wow. That must have
And
been painful.
he said he didn't feel it, but when he got out, it was just the skin had just disintegrated. Because as you might know, when you put bleach on your hands, it'll take off.
Yeah.
It'll exfoliate. It's a really
Pretty
good
much.
exfoliator, but not great for the skin. But it ripped all that apart. He ended up having to have it reopened up because I don't know if she was a therapist or a nurse's aide at the time. She put the bleach in there. That's pretty messed up.
But why would you even think about doing that? Logically, it don't make no sense.
She wasn't the brightest bulb in the candelabra. So, and I kept saying to her, why would you do that? And she said, I didn't do it. And I said, yeah, you did. Here's the bleach. It's sitting right next to the thing. And then it got to the point where his incision was so big, they were going to have to take part of his butt cheek, slice it, and then move it. Rather than taking, I don't know if you know, this is kind of gross. So if anybody gets triggered, let me know. Yeah, grafts are really gross. They use like a cheese cutter.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. They shave off your layer, your skin, and then put it somewhere else. Yeah, I've seen it in videos. Yeah,
it's horrible. It's horribly painful too.
Mm-hmm.
So I opted for them to not, because I kept thinking, well, if you're going to take, his legs are really hairy. If you're going to take a hairy area and put it back there and graft it, aren't those follicles going to grow back in? So I opted for them to move it. And that's why he says he has a Y on his butt that goes down into the crack of his butt because they had to move it.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the hospital for a long time. But this was a level 2, and it was purple, which means it was already gangrene in the inside. So he's getting 40 feet of Curlex. That's what he tells me. I said, what did it look like? What did the stuff look like? He goes, well, first of all, he said, they didn't take me by ambulance. I go, no. He goes, and secondly, they had him in leg cuffs and in wrist cuffs. And when he sat down in the police car, and I don't believe this for a second, he said that the thing burst open. And when he got out of the car, he said, oh, you'll have to clean that up. Yeah, right.
That doesn't sound
You
right.
said shit. You said nothing. Okay. I know because you were still shitting a brick that you were. I mean, I looked at his I looked at his mugshot and I said, "What's with the Marty Feldman eyes? What's going on here?" And he goes, "I was pissed because I didn't think that they were gonna take me in."
Well, I told them.
I told him. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I told him the day before to make sure he cleaned out his fridge
Mm-hmm.
so that and turn off all the electric because when he left the last time, he left his I think it was a record player or something on with a Santa hat or something, and it was still going when he came back.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Could start a fire.
Yeah, I mean, he lives in a building. He lives in I don't know. They're all crazy in that building.
I was gonna describe it like that, but not in those exact words. Like, is this a
No, that
building for people who have issues?
yeah, let's put it this one. There's a lady that lives next door to her. That poor lady. Could you imagine? Um, he he was out in the hallway putting up things that the vaccine was bullshit and all this other stuff, and she come yelling at him. You retard. She's yelling at him.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
Because he keeps saying, "You're a retard, you're a
yeah.
retard." And I'm
But
like, where is that coming from? So
just
that
the
is
way
from that
she said
lady.
it
Yeah.
cracked me up. Just it wasn't your A, it was you retard. And she looked like she could probably knock him out. But could you imagine living next door to him?
Well, we hear it all the time outside of his door, the yelling, the shouting, but he's
They're
also
all
private.
nuts there. They're all nuts. I have a friend who's a firefighter, and he I actually petitioned for him to get into that building years ago. And then he took another apartment instead, and I was kind of pissed because I wanted him. He wanted to be in the Allentown area
Hmm.
because there's restaurants there, there's shopping there. He doesn't have to go that far. He was never a dumpster diver. Never.
So
To
what started that? You said because of what he has the Prater Willie.
Prater Willie's, yeah. That's.
Yeah.
Can you ask about the neighbors? They're all nuts. I mean, it's a Section 8 housing, so that means that they're probably all recipients.
It's a
Um,
nice place though for Section
it
8
is.
housing.
It
Because
is.
you would never think it was just looking at it. But
Yeah.
I had an understanding that it probably was based on the types of people that I saw.
Oh
They
yeah.
they, they looked very vagrant in,
Shady.
yeah, shady, vagrant. They look like the type of people that would be living in certain areas,
Yeah.
other areas.
But you know what? Yeah, right. Because you know what? Allentown is like the place to live.
It is. That's why when he keeps talking all this crap
Like
about the
it's like
area, I'm like,
Yorkville.
dude, that
Like
area looks
Yorkville.
really nice with the Victorian houses.
Right. It's like
And
Yorkville.
yeah, it is.
It's really it's really a I wanted him there. I have a friend who's a firefighter, and he says, "Oh my god, I wish that building would implode."
Hmm. Somebody's asking about the charges. You said you at first thought it was two charges, but only one was added, and it's because of the probation
Right.
violation. Yeah.
Right. So, once again, the snow globe. Who knows? Who knows? You got to take a tenth of everything of what he says and
Hmm.
dissect it, because I can usually tell when he's lying, which is basically all the time, because he, like I said, it's the confabulation again. It's always the I remember this, I remember that. One time he accused me of being on Ashley Madison.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna laugh. Okay.
I
If
know
you
I'm
don't know
laughing.
who if you don't know what Ashley Madison is, it's a site where it's geared towards people who are already in relationships to cheat. So there's a lot of contentious situation that happened in Toronto with Ashley Madison. A lot of people did not want Ashley Madison in Toronto because they were like, no, that's gonna tear apart families.
Right. He accused me of it the one time because I, as you can see, I'm getting old. A little bit of gray, little bit of gray. I buy my hair color from Madison's,
Mm-hmm.
and it's made for just me. Okay. And he said, nope. He saw that when they had, I think they had a breach in security.
Yeah, Kidney J saying the same thing. There was a leak, and a lot of people were worried. Like they were shit scared worried.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said, well, I saw your name on there. He goes, as a matter of fact, I even saw that somebody's got the same hair color as you. I go, you're a moron. Why do I need to go on Ashley Madison? I work around doctors all day. You know, I travel, and when I go to Florida, my husband doesn't go. He stays home.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do something, I wouldn't have to go and pay. Think about this. I go,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Marie's
Oh,
asking, did he always hate pants? He has a sensory
seams.
issue.
Seams. Not pants, seams.
Oh, he has a problem with the seams. He
Yes.
doesn't like the feel of them.
Right.
Oh, it's okay. I totally get that. Yeah.
You ever try to get a 6X shirt without seams? Mod on. There's only one place I could get his shirts.
Where was that?
At the flea market.
Okay.
There was a guy that used to sell up to like 8X shirts, and they don't have seams in the arms.
Mm-hmm.
Something about the seams in the arms, he cannot tolerate that. The inseams, he cannot tolerate that. So he always wears shorts. And then a friend of mine who's a college professor here says to me, oh, but that's what all the guys on college are wearing. I'm like, well, oh, I don't even understand that mess.
The
Like,
droopy underwear?
how do you do that to a pair of underwear?
How does he loosen them out?
I don't know. I don't know. And I would constantly buy him underwear. Constantly. I'm like, I even bought him boxers so that would stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found that he would not close the little fly door. So I sewed.
Boxers?
Yeah, so I sewed all those closed.
So you're telling me for the boxers, he would never close the fly, he would have his wheelie sticking out all the time?
No,
around?
well, you know, I'm going right to hell, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to mama hell. That's where I'm going. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. The poor thing. He's got one nut.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, come on, poor kid. I personally think that if he would lose some weight in the gut, that maybe that would stick out a little more.
I know what you mean, but that's just wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong, but you know what? I can say it because you know what? I've supposedly, according to Michael today, I have been sexually abused by my brother.
For what? How? Why
Because
is
he turtled me once.
Oh, okay.
I turtled myself this morning. I had to call my husband to get me out of bed. What are you going to do? I got a bad back. I'm old. I'm stuck on my back. And I bought one of those My Pillow things that you put on top of your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm telling you, the best $200 I've ever spent in my life.
Which nut did he lose, and how did he lose it? Because he told us a story that it was red and swollen. His dad looked at it. Is that true?
What happened was he was learning to ride a bike, and he ran his bike into the curb. And because it was a boy's bike, you know where the bar is.
Yeah.
And I said, he got up from playing in the street. They used to ride their bikes in the street, and he was riding with a bunch of his other little friends. At this time, he had friends, and they were riding, and he never said anything. The next morning, he's like, Ma, I can't go to the bathroom. I can't go to the bathroom. I'm like, what do you mean you can't go to the bathroom? Usually, you can't aim. I mean, you can go to the bathroom. What are you talking about? So his father went and checked it out. He said, oh, you got to look at this. And like his testicles were just bright red. So I ran him into the doctor. I called the doctor. I ran him in there. And instead of him telling me to take him right to the hospital, they tried to, it's called torsion testes.
Oh,
It's
somebody
where
was
the
saying something
spermatic
about that.
cord,
Mm-hmm.
like your balls are on like cords, and
Yeah.
they move up and down. Well, every now and then, if you get a fast injury, and what happens is those cords will twist.
Mm-hmm.
And because he didn't say anything about it until the next day, it actually strangulated the other one.
Aye.
So they were trying to manually untwist it in the doctor's office. I'll never forget this. The screaming that came out of this kid. And then finally they said, take him to the hospital. We're going to admit him immediately. And matter of fact, we said to him, would you like a prosthetic one put in? And he said no. So we asked him when he was a little bit older, actually,
Mm-hmm.
if he wanted a prosthetic one.
Because now he says he puts his one ball in the middle.
I have no idea. Thank God. This is
Yeah,
something I
that's
don't
what he
need to know.
says. He says he keeps it in the middle.
Well, that's like having one boob, splitting it down the middle. There you go. There's cleavage. I don't know. He also, oddly enough, after the whole Amy thing, he wanted a vasectomy. He asked me to help him to get a vasectomy because he said he didn't want to ever have kids.
Oh, well, it would be hard for him to get one, right? Because typically they want you to have kids before you get one. 'Cause,
Right.
a lot of men change their minds. A lot of women change their minds.
Right.
And
Because
then, yeah.
I had Michael when I was 22. And at that time, I had to get my husband's permission to get my tubes tied.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that now. But I had to wait until I was 25 years old. They would not tie my tubes. And every year I would go back on my birthday and say to them, okay, I'm 23, I'm 24, I'm 25. 25, tie my tubes. If you don't do it, I'll do my own. And that's what I got as my, basically my Christmas gift was I got my tubes tied. Because it was a horrible delivery. Absolutely horrible. So I said, I'm never doing this shit again. Now, thank God I didn't, because I wouldn't have the patience if I had him and another. Well, maybe the other one would help balance it out. But I got dogs and cats now.
Yeah, Joy, I think she answered the question. Does Michael have siblings?
Yeah, he does. He's got Chewy and there's Kip. Yeah, we're talking about you, dog. And there's Kip the cat and Jack the cat, and then there's Chewy Bear and Scrappy Doo.
He's got fur baby brothers and sisters then.
That's it.
Mhm.
And they don't ask me for money. They just ask for TREATS.
Mhm.
Because I know they watch, they can spell, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
Yeah, we're
some
gonna
other
wrap
things.
this up shortly. So if you have any pressing questions that we haven't covered, then please ask right now. What is a story with his cat he had? Oh yeah, about Gravy. Because
Oh,
he said
that's
something
something.
foul about Gravy when Gravy
No,
passed away. And ever since then, a lot of people online have ran with it.
no, no. Michael was heartbroken when Gravy started getting sick. Gravy came to him as a as a used cat. It was an abused cat. And oh, you were watching something this morning. I was watching something this morning. Every morning I get up and I see if there's anything new going on with Michael. Now I don't have to. But you had one this morning on, and I was like, wow, look at how nice he was when he was a little kid. And I don't think of him as an adult, because he stopped being normal around 15 as far as I'm concerned. So I always call him a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I call that arrested development for sure.
Yeah.
So Gravy came to him as an abused animal, and we thought that it would be a really good idea because there used to be a cat that lived outside our porch, and his name was Michael named him Goatee because he had like a white stripe here.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael had hoped that when he left, that he could get this outdoor feral cat to come and move in with him into his apartment, but he couldn't catch him. And so we said, okay, well, we'll see if we can find you. Well, one of his cousins, not a nice guy, had a cat that he wasn't very good care of him. So he gave him Gravy. Gravy already came with his name.
Mm-hmm.
And Gravy was the meanest cat you would ever see in the world. Gravy, the one time Michael was living in this really shitty apartment. I mean, shitty apartment.
In Lovejoy?
No, in Hurdle Avenue.
Okay.
I hated when he was there. I wouldn't go there. But they were bombing the place for bed bugs and other crawly things. I would never go there. Matter of fact, when Michael left that place, he left everything he owned behind. And he started all over again, just took Gravy with him.
Oh wow.
And that was it. Left every piece of furniture, everything else. Okay, so my husband, when they bombed the place, had to go get Gravy because Michael was at work. And so we've always had cats. And we're huge cat lovers until I found my dog running on the highway in Boston, Massachusetts. And I stopped the traffic on the turnpike and got this dog. And
oh, that's a sweet story.
Oh, JP was the best. Yeah. And nearly got killed doing it, but yeah. So Ralph went to go pick up, father went to go pick up the cat. Put him in one of those cardboard cat carriers.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember Toonces the cat?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what we say Toonces, that Gravy was actually Toonces the cat, because he said he heard a growl in the back seat. And he looked in the rearview mirror, and here was Gravy with his head sticking out of the box. He said he got so scared of this cat, he had to pull over. Because anytime I would walk into Mike's apartment, whether it was to clean his apartment or take his laundry or bring groceries or whatever, that we already went back, get back to it. Got to keep it moving along. That cat would take a swipe at me, spit at me, everything else. And I've always had cats. So I've got no...
Gravy's demeanor is, I guess, miserable, you would say.
Yeah, I've got an orange cat that's like that. But Mine would just, if my orange cat would be a human, he'd be in his pajamas and an old man standing on the front of the porch yelling, "Get off my lawn." Gravy would say, "I'll blow your brains out." Gravy
Right.
was mean. He was a mean cat, but Michael was able to deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I always noticed if Michael just even kind of even bumped him, "Oh, I'm sorry, Gravy." He would always say, "I'm sorry" to him. And I had always had thoughts of him going to veterinarian school long time ago. So he said Fupa favorite.
Don't,
Yeesh.
don't worry about the name. The
I
name
can't
is because of
I can't
Chantal,
even. I
Foodie
can't even.
Beauty.
I can't even. I'm hoping that once all this shit get off my chest, I can die with dignity.
Right. So I think Mama Scrunch hit on the apartment thing. You said it's 60 days before you get off the
No,
for the apartment. How long
no,
can you keep it for?
we don't know, but he does have a caseworker.
Mm-hmm. The county worker he talks about.
Yeah, yeah, he's had several of them, and the last one I know was RuPaul or something like that. I guess the woman looked like RuPaul. I don't know. Um, he is allowed to go 6 months
Oh,
with an extension for mental health
I see.
because everybody in that building is crazy. Now, somebody else had asked, does he pay for his rent?
Mm-hmm.
No. He has um, I'm trying to think of the word, a fiduciary that takes care of all of his money. So he gets his money in. He's only allowed to have X amount of dollars per week. Didn't he say he was going to pay you $500 the other day for something if he goes to jail?
Oh, that was the bet. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I would have
bet
taken
me
that
in
in
an
a heartbeat.
email saying, "Well, you know what? I couldn't, man, because I
No.
feel bad because I'm like he doesn't really get that much, and I would
Yeah.
never want to put him into hardships." But I was like, I told him, I was like, dude, be careful. The fifth, you're likely to go in jail because we talked about it on the stream on like the night before and the day off we reviewed the video where he got the letter. I'm like, dude, if they saw you that Thursday, but yet the very next day they send you a letter, that means there's some sort of urgency that they're trying to do something to you. So it just makes sense that
Right.
you could be going to jail. That's why they're trying to do it right away. And he
Right.
wouldn't believe me. And you see, look what happens. He got locked up, just
Well,
like we told him.
this is why I'm wondering at this point, and I don't want to prolong your break. But one thing that this kid has always amazed me by is that why he doesn't believe people when they tell him the truth. He ordered a computer, was having it shipped over to Walgreens. I don't know if you ever
Mhm.
saw this video. It was hysterical. He he was on this video and he was saying that the people from Walgreens had called him, and not only, okay, this is going to be too funny. Not only did the UPS driver drop the computer and it smashed into a million pieces, but then somehow or another he ran it over also.
Wow.
And because Walgreens is a drop off place for UPS. Okay, so he had it shipped at UPS because that one scuzzy building he lived in, he wouldn't trust anybody to drop anything off there. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes they leave it in the lobby and it just gets taken
Yeah, that's gone.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gone and sold. So I called Walgreens because he's gullible. He's stupid and gullible sometimes. Doesn't want to listen to people. And I called Walgreens. I said, "Do you have a package for Michael Constantino?" "No, we don't." I go, well, he got a call from somebody at Walgreens saying that there was a mishap with it. We don't have any package here for him. Okay, fine. So I called Michael and I told him. The next thing I know, there are police at my door. And the cop, who I call fanboy, right to his face, I didn't care, and told him to get off my porch, said, "Are you Mama Scrunch?" First of all, you're a cop. You're supposed to be coming to my home, addressing me by my name.
Yeah.
And then when my husband was like behind me, "Can I help you?" He goes, "Oh, you must be Daddy Dukes." I go, "Look, fanboy, get off my porch." Well, we got a complaint from Michael, who said that you're harassing him. And if you don't stop harassing him, we're going to have to file a complaint against you. And that could mean that you would go to jail. Get off my porch, you moron. So I took that officer's name, and that officer another time showed up at my house and delivered a Blue Cross and Blue Shield package to my house that went to Michael by accident. And I said, "What, has he got you delivering his mail now too? You're such a fanboy?" And he says, "Look, lady, I would be careful with your mouth." I go, "Get off my porch." I called internal investigations. He's no longer a police officer because he's a fanboy of that stupid channel that he has.
Really?
I also got a phone call while I was in Florida. Michael had tried to press charges on me while I was in Florida. And somebody called me. It was the same cop. Called me, and like I told you, I've had the same phone number for 40 some years.
Mm-hmm.
When my phone was this big and was built into my car.
I remember those car phones.
Yeah. And it was $8 a minute to call Buffalo to Toronto. So they told me I had to come back to Buffalo, turn myself in. I said, "Come and get me." And it turned out that this cop was a fan of that channel. Like I said, he's no longer a cop.
I
But
could
this is
never
how gullible he is.
have imagined.
He could not believe me that not only did the UPS guy drop the thing, but then somehow ran it over. So are you going to tell me when they do this competency hearing that he's actually competent? You know, that's why I worry. I worry about him, but I have to divorce myself from his bullshit.
Yeah, it seems your husband has divorced himself a long time ago because
Oh yeah.
I remember the conversation with the feather and going to New York City, and then as soon as we heard the dad in the background, and then I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck off my phone! Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, my husband.
Yeah, it was like
suffer fools.
Yeah,
You know, my husband's been through too much, and he said, "You know what? He takes whatever you say and he twists it, he turns it, and he makes it so that everything's dirty now."
yeah, he was really pressing you. We were like, Mama Scrunch has a lot of patience.
No, Mama Scrunch was half sleeping probably. I mean,
you were there for 2 hours running in circles with him on that phone call.
Yeah, because my husband will go, "Hang up on him." I'm like, he's got nobody else to talk to.
Yeah, you were saying that he's just gonna call back.
Yeah, I said, and he's gonna call back, and what am I gonna do? Like, how do you do that? How do you just divorce yourself from the whole thing? But when he started really, he used to say, because I would work 24-hour shifts, I would find an empty bed and go to sleep for 8 hours that I wasn't being paid for. But he would tell people that I would go and sleep in the patient's beds.
Hmm.
No, we had sleep rooms. We had on-call rooms.
Yeah, because
But
that's
he didn't
typically
get
what you
that
have. Yeah.
because he only, he's got a piece of truth here, piece of truth there, confabulate the middle. So, any last things? I'm gonna go smoke
Um,
soon. So,
I think that's it. If we
all
have
right.
anything, maybe we'll catch you another time. Give us some updates and everything. I know you said you're going back on the 17th, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
9 days.
Yeah, 9 days. So
9 days. 8 o'clock in the morning, I will go in. At 9:30, I will do somersaults on the way out. It's a simple procedure. They cut the nerve that comes out of the vertebrae that's affected. They cut it so that it doesn't get to my brain to tell me I'm in pain. It's an
mhm.
amazing procedure. I've been living on it since 2009,
I see.
and I work 70 hours a week.
Wow, that is like almost double time.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on here. I know we had issues, but
I
we
told
got them
you.
resolved. So
Pe-
I guess
People don't believe me, but
yeah.
people don't believe that I'm this stupid when it comes to computer. But you have to remember, I have an entire IT department that follows me
Hmm.
because
Well,
I'm basically retarded when it comes to IT.
I thank you so much for your time, though, Mama Scrunch.
I thank you for your compassion, and I really am. I found you to be quite compassionate, yet you can weed through the bullshit. And I like the fact that you call him out.
He doesn't
Uh,
like that.
oh, no one does.
Especially with the accusations, because it just didn't make sense, because he kept on saying all these things about you and your husband and his rich uncle. I'm like, dude, what you're saying just doesn't make any sense to how these people are acting
Why
and
have we never
whatnot.
been? Why have we never
Yeah,
been charged with these
exactly. And
things?
I'm like, dude, if they actually did this to you, go to the police station
Yeah,
and file the
that's what I
charges.
told him. I'll drive you, you piece of shit. Come on, I'll drive you. You tell him this is the woman that pimped me out.
Yeah,
You know, I
and that's
mean,
why I kept telling him
like
file the
pimped you
charges.
out. But none of this stuff happened until he got in with those pedophile folks. They really, really fucked him up.
Hmm.
Fortunately, this time though, he's gonna be. It looks like he'll be in the medical unit because he's got to be packed twice a day. I said to him, "Do you think your pedophile friends are gonna pack you?" I said, "Maybe not the way you want to be."
I wasn't gonna go there.
No, I went there. I went there. I said, "You know what? I've never pulled punches with him ever since the day he called me and told me how he got laid. This is fair game." And so any of you people that thought that I let my child be abused, no. Any of you that thought that I spent money on myself and not him, I can show you the second mortgages that I've taken to find him therapists. um the pandemic worked out nice for me. I worked the entire pandemic and I never left the house. So everything I own. So anybody that had anything bad to say about me, you're beneath me. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you so
But
much
I
for
do
coming up.
appreciate you, Monty, and
And yeah,
I will keep you advised. You probably won't see me much after the 17th because I will disappear.
hmm,
And good luck. And I hope you're getting monetized for this.
thank you so much for clarifying so many things, because we only heard his side of the story,
Yeah.
and it's always refreshing when we can hear another side of the story of what really happened, rather than depending on trying to weed out things and use common sense. So I really appreciate
Oh
your
yeah.
time.
It's all, you know, We're all a little mad here, but we're not that crazy. Just remember, it's a snow globe.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're
Thank you so
thinking
much.
about how he's thinking, it's a snow globe. All right. God bless everybody. Take care of each other, protect each other. Thank
Have a
you.
good one. Bye
Okay.
bye.
How do I
See
get
ya.
out of here now?
I'll close you out. Don't worry about it.
Thank you very much, Monty.
All right, no problem. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Smash that like button. That was Mama Scrunch. We might have her back again, or maybe through email to clarify everything. That went pretty well. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it went pretty well. So I'd appreciate her and everybody else. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes in, and we are done and out of here. Smash that like button. I'll be back maybe in an hour or two for more content. Happy Mother's Day if I don't see you, or if you gotta go rest. And I'll be back. Congrats to the winners on this Mother's Day that won those prizes. And see you soon. Take care. Have a good one. And bye bye.